My name is Doug Martin, and I teach in the physics department and in the biochemistry program here at Lawrence. This is my 11th year on the faculty here. I teach courses across the curriculum in the physics department, from introductory courses through the upper level courses. And one of the things that I'm really excited about is in bringing physics and excitement about physics to people who are not necessarily interested in physics. And so I've been looking at things, at course ideas for the London Center that can do this. And so one of the courses I'm teaching is called Victorian Engineering. And that's a class that looks at the engineered structures that are around us, everywhere around us. But in particular, it looks at the structures that are in London, because they have some fantastic engineered structures, and structures that were designed at the time when engineering design was moving from a place of mostly trial and error and heuristics to a place that is physics-based. And so the designs that are being implemented are based on fundamental physics. So how does that match up with my goal of bringing physics to people who might not be so excited about it? Well, we'll have a chance to go and do about 10 site visits to different famous engineered structures in London and pair that with classroom study to try to understand their design principles and how people have interacted with those designs over the past 150 years. The other class that I'm developing for the London Center is called The Royal Society and the Birth of Modern Science. And this is a class that looks at how science has transitioned from an era of observations and heuristics to an era where experimentation and theoretical development is core to how we think about the world around us. It starts in 1660 with the founding of the Royal Society. And this is in the era of Newton and Galileo and Descartes. And then what we're going to do is follow the work of the Royal Society from 1660 through 350 years to today. And my goal is to do this using the original science that was published in the Philosophical Transactions of the Royal Society, the journal that they work on. These papers include the the very first discovery of microorganisms with the first microscope, the discovery that white light is made up of different colors, the very first discovery of an extraplanetary object, and this starts in 1660 and ends. Let's see, it goes up through the present day. The last paper that I think we're going to look at is the discovery of the structure of DNA and how genetic inheritance is passed along. The thing that's so cool about this is that the archives of the Royal Society, where the original versions of these papers are within walking distance from the London Center. And so part of this class will involve using those archives to look into the history of science. In the long run, my hope is just the understanding that science is something that we can understand and that it shapes the world around us, and that we can see the ways in which it shapes the world around us by explicitly looking at these sites. One of the things that many of our students, and certainly I did when I was an undergraduate, do is to focus so much on the details and the minutiae of what we look at that we don't have time to step back and look at the big picture. And the two big picture things that I'm thinking about with these classes, one of them on the birth of modern science, is how science works and how we got to how our thinking about how science works, the thing that we do every day in the classroom in the lab. How did that develop into what we do today? And the other piece is, how does science interact with society, and how does it interact with people who use the scientific products or the engineered products that science produces? And so I'm hoping that these are two ways for science students to step back and look at the big picture of the work that they're working on here at Lawrence.